Our Mike Watkiss is with a look at what he's been doing today. Mike?
Yeah, right you are, Patty. You know, it's sort of an interesting phenomenon. At these times of great crisis, they often lead to moments of complete clarity. With all the facades ripped away, people get an opportunity to figure out what's really important to them and to their families. And we've seen a lot of that during the last couple of days on the battered streets of Biloxi, Mississippi.
You talk about the living, but in a way, the dead. If you can't find eternal peace here, you know, you've got a real disaster on your hand.
Amid the angst and the stress, the grief and the sorrow that has now saturated America's Gulf Coast. Today, at least one man grieving for the already dead. After Hurricane Katrina quite literally dismantled a mausoleum situated along Biloxi's once scenic coastline.
What about the people that come back looking for their mama, their granddaddy, their grandma, or something like that? Well, there's not going to be anything left up there.
But really, there is not much left anywhere in and around Biloxi, Mississippi. And today, for the living, the pressing needs of survival, priority number one.
Tempers are getting hard with the temperatures rising and everything. This breeze is wonderful right now with the heat. It's awful.
This family, like so many, lost just about everything to the horrors of Hurricane Katrina. And today, they were standing in a long line at a convenience store with many others just to get a few basics.
I'm staying with my mom right now, and she's 83 years old. God bless her. We don't have no gasoline, and it's hot. And I just want to get out of town.
Everything's very expensive. Very expensive. Everything. $5 for a jug of Gatorade.
And for law officers, such desperation, a matter of great concern, as they try to keep the peace and stop the looters.
A lot of looting. We're doing the best we can with it, and people who are out are getting arrested. You know, but they're overwhelming us.
About midday, heavy rain started to fall here in Biloxi, Mississippi. You can see this road is just completely eaten up by the storm, but now we're adding some precipitation to a community that's already beleaguered with just too much weather, too much bad news. This is not going to be a good thing for people who lost their roofs in Hurricane Katrina.
Anybody got any tarps?
That's what you're in line here for?
I'm trying to find some tarps to cover my roofs because this looks like rain. And got my kids there. Can't let nothing else fall on us.
But it's as if the world has already fallen on the people of the Gulf Coast, where just about everywhere you look today, there is another story of pain and sorrow. And he come back to us live here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Patty, just one man's observation. I want to tell you that the local police, local firefighters, local emergency responders have done a great job, and there's a lot of great people in this part of the country.
Mike, how are people buying things? I mean, it seems to me that many of the people who are left behind are the poorest of the poor, the most vulnerable in our society, who so many of them couldn't leave. How are they accessing money to even buy some of these basic necessities?
Well, you make a good point. A lady that was we had her in that story, she said she tried to go to her bank. They wouldn't give her any money. Many of the banks were closed, at least from our observations today. And it is the most vulnerable, the poorest of the poor, who are left here struggling. People running out of gas, trying to push their cars along the freeway to find the only gas station in town. About a 2-mile long line trying to get into that facility today. So it's been a very difficult situation. And again, it begs the question, where is the help from the outside world? A lot of people wondering when that's going to arrive.
And you just got to have the feeling it's going to get a bit worse before it gets any better. Thank you very much, Mike.